All right. Welcome to Sci-Fi Express Lane. Jeff Carroll here, answering your Magic Negro questions. What the heck? All right, let's talk about it. Jeff Carroll, sci-fi writer, filmmaker, pioneer, you name it, all those little cool things. I appreciate them all. But yeah, so let's talk about this this Magic Negro thing. So I'm going to call this the power of comedy and I guess kind of what comedy can do, you know, because I think it's more about comedy than about the Magic Negro. All right, so let's look at it. My man, and I think he's the star or one of the stars, David Alan Grier, top comic, well-integrated comedian. Let me just say that. He was on Living Color, but met him a couple of times at Caroline and at HBO Comedy or Art Summit in Aspen, Colorado. He used to have to go out there in the 90s and the early 2000s to get your deal. So I met him out there when he was working on deaf poetry. Anyway, well-integrated dude. Why do I say that's important? Because I think, like the Jordan Peele, certain things come out of black comedic minds when they are in a lot of white spaces, a lot of white rooms, and different from those that are not in those spaces. You know, maybe people are in black rooms and Latino rooms, comedy rooms, writing rooms, and they don't get a chance to be exposed to kind of being a Magic Negro, right? Having to be that token, you know what I'm saying? And David Alan Grier has been that dude. I know, because I've seen him be the only black guy. I mean, might be a black woman. When I was in Aspen, forgot homegirl's name from Archer, you know, but she's a female comedian, and I really hate that I forget her name. But these are people that, you know, if I tried to get them on Def Comedy Jam, it was a struggle because they were in white spaces so much, it was hard to get them into black spaces. Shout out to Leanne Lord, because she was able to pull it off. That was one of my comedians I met at NACA and was able to get her on Def Comedy, you know, but she's a black female, and it was just hard to cross back over. Now, I say that because, like I said, I think those comics have been Magic Negroes in their writing rooms, right? David Alan Grier is the one I'm really talking about, having been in rooms where he's like the only dude, right? He was in Boomerang with Eddie, and he definitely jumps between the worlds. But I'm pretty sure he don't even want to be called a black comedian so much because it might be limiting to him because he's so big. He just might be a comedian. And for him to be involved in this project, I'm looking at the project through his eyes, because even if he didn't write it, even was his concept, which it may have been, I didn't really look it up, he made a decision to be a part of it, and he's a big part of it because I think he's one of the main characters. Let me just say that. And this movie, Magic Negro, is set up where it's called the Secret Society of Magic Negroes. And in this society, Magic Negroes are like guardian angels to white people. They are specifically African American, and I'm pretty sure because they call themselves Negro, amidst the changes in African American naming, you know, colored, black, African American, Afro American, all those changes didn't affect this name of this association. I'm going to assume they go back to the early 1900s when Marcus Garvey had his Universal Negro Improvement Association, or the United Negro College Fund. I mean, that's not what we first called ourselves. Shoot, the AME Church, African Methodist Episcopal Church, is older than that. However, we still dance between the two, and Negro was an acceptable term. And I know this because I did my book. It happened on Negro Mountain, and Negro Mountain goes back to the emancipation when we had, before slavery. We had the Mason-Dixon line where you can cross and be free. So Negro is a term of endearment, and so people got a little upset with the inclusion of the title Negro. However, that just, to me, it dates it, right? So if I was going to, have something called the Negro Vampire Association, then it would definitely be 1900s, something that's almost like 100 years old, right? As old as our fraternities and sororities. So that's when we called ourselves Negro, and we had no problem with it. We don't do that now. You ain't gonna come out with, today's top Negro rappers. You're not gonna hear that. No, it's not gonna happen. All right. Like the girls in my class would say, and pause, period, stop, period, right? Period, the end, right? Whatever they call it. I don't even know how they do it. It's hilarious. All right, let me get back. So, that story is about the movie is about an old organization where black people took an oath to learn magic and wield magics like a Harry Potter school, and their purpose is to make sure white people are happy. And the whole reason is, if white people aren't happy, they make things bad for black people and uncomfortable for black people. So that's the main premise. And the main character, he gets an assignment, and he's trying to help this white guy. He's like being Hitch, trying to help this white guy get his life comfortable. I don't even think the white guy has the potential to make things messed up for black people, but they tie it in because the white guy seems very docile, right? So they try to tie it in to make it seem like he is like some type of trigger point in time. So if he gets upset, he does something that just upsets the world for black people. And there's a whole lot of things I can think about as a writer, so I can make that work. However, he finds a white girl for the white guy, and instead of the white guy taking to her or she taking to the white guy, the black guy, who's the Magic Negro, and the white girl connect, and it becomes a problem. So if he gets with her, and I think he eventually kisses her or something like that, then he loses his Magic Negro-ness, or he just dies, he evaporates. So I have no idea what happens to him. So that's an interesting story. And when I first saw it, I took to the Magic Negro name, and I was like, but I took to the jungle feverness of it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Most of the people on the planet are people of color, and I hate when these supernatural aliens or whatever people come and, they just revolve around white people, because there's such a small, percentage of the people on the planet. Man, it's like hard. It would be hard pressed to just say, oh, I want to land somewhere where they're the majority. If you were just targeting Earth. But they do it in these movies with no problem. Anyway, I had thought of calling it, Death by Jungle Fever, or something with jungle fever. I have no idea. I forgot what I said, but I was hooked up on that. The other black people on the internet, they were reacting. It's Magic Negro-ness. What is this? And the Magic Negro is a old saying. I think it started in popularity with John Coffey and Michael Clark Duncan's character in the movie The Green Mile. Now, it's a Stephen King book, and it might have been a black dude in the book, and all of that, but people didn't really think about it until John Coffey. And I use him, but there's articles, I've posted articles where they list all the little Magic Negroes. Sheesh, Falcon, damn near's a Magic Negro, what's the War Machine is a Magic Negro. All of them, they get lumped in there, and it's basically some black person whose sole purpose is to make white people happy, or all they do is make white people happy. Now, back to the Society of Magic Negroes, I can kind of understand the frustration because I don't think white people's comfort makes black people comfortable. As contrary to, on the other side, flip side, I don't think white people's uncomfort makes things uncomfortable for black people. So I don't see the need for that, number one. Just suppose, if they was going to say, Jeff, you need to be a Magic Negro, I'd be like, why? You understand? Trigger white fragility. Let's bring it on. You understand? Ain't nobody make white people more uncomfortable than Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey, Harriet Tubman, all of our black revolutionaries, Frederick Douglass, our great emancipator. There's no way they felt comfortable around him. However, his actions made things better for black people. So I'm with that. So, unless the story takes an incredible flip. So that's me from jump, right? After I listened to the other black people on the internet, we had some type of consensus. I'm down and I understand it. So I take offense to it. Now, will I see it? I don't know. I may see it because David Allen Greer is my dude and he's involved in it. Same thing with Jordan Peele. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? I don't call them sellouts. I don't consider them anti-black. So David Allen Greer, I got you, bro. I got you. So now I don't know if I'm going to see it, but unless I see like another trailer, I've read some articles where they responded to it. But I think this is like the power of comedy. All of this to get to where I started with the title. All right. So the power of comedy. Comedy is able, and almost like horror, but I think more so comedy, is able to talk about difficult things in a way that it's like sugar to important medicine. Like this is, the Magic Negro may not be no revolutionary thing, but it is an elephant in the room subject. It is a subject that, as a screenwriter, as a novelist, as a comic book writer, as a writer in general, when I do an integrated ensemble, I take in consideration the roles that my characters have to each other and what do they do to each other. So I don't want necessarily magic white people, and I don't want Magic Negroes. I don't want people that serve for the benefit of the other character. It feels like tokenism extreme, right? And so comedy has been able to address this. I remember Robert Townsend in Hollywood Shuffle. He dealt with all of those tropes, specifically tokenism. And it was really cool, but he didn't make a whole movie out of it. This is a whole movie out of something that I think they're trying to make a political statement on. I remember Spike Lee's, the one with Mos Def. I didn't really like it, but it was a Jigaboo thing. I think Mos Def and Damon Wayans. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a Spike Lee movie, and in the movie he was dealing with jigaboos and shucking and jiving for the benefit of white people. And that's the nasty history of real Magic Negroes, right? Not the John Coffeys, but the ones that, almost like, I don't even know if we want to call Sammy Davis Jr. a Magic Negro, but they're Magic Negroes in real life. And these are, black people who somehow get used by white people for their benefit in the sacrifice of their blackness. Like there's a a little clip of a little girl in a Halloween costume. All her white friends is dressed up as Scooby-Doo, and she's Scooby-Doo, the dog, right? And you would see this, white people dressed up as enslavers, and the black person is the slave. So, we've seen these, things where you're like, this black person, how do they put themselves in a situation? I think of the black lady who went on a retreat out of Atlanta, the school teacher, with like 9 white ladies, and she the only one that went missing, and don't nobody have any answers for it. So being a Magic Negro in real life is dangerous. So I don't know if the film is making a statement or they're making a joke out of it. I just know it's a very delicate subject because it's real, So anyway, I took my issues with the movie Get Out. I didn't know if they were making a joke out of black people's disappearance in white neighborhoods, but it survived, and I don't know what's going to happen to Magic Negro. Let's see. But comedy, the power of comedy is to deal with these taboo or delicate subjects. Peace. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Sci-Fi Express Lane Jeff out.